Hi and welcome back to Pakistan Explorer. We have been back after a long time, mostly because not much action has been taking place in the mountains, mostly because of the COVID situation all across the world. The reason we have come back on channel again is because Sajid Sadpara has announced a search and retrieval expedition on K2 in order to try to find the dead body of his late father Ali Sadpara, John Snorri and JP Mohr. He announced this expedition right after when he came back from K2 that he wanted to go back in order to find out actually what happened to these three climbers and try to find the reasons as to what has happened. We know from the record that the Nepalis were the first to summit K2 for the first time in winters on January 15th in 2021, which came as a surprise to the rest of the world. And right after that, John Snorri, Ali Sadpara, and Sajid Sadpara, which were an expedition, and JP Mohr, who was with the other expedition, and he joined them on Camp 3, and they all four of them decided to make a summit push. And Sajid was sent back by Ali Sadpara because his regulator was not working properly at the bottom of the bottleneck, and Sajid was turned back and he made it to C3, while the rest of the three climbers went for the summit push and they never came back. This was followed by one of the most expensive search and rescue operations in the history of Pakistan, where the military itself was involved and the Air Force, and they scoured the top of K2 with C-130s and F-16s and whatever they could manage to search in terms of taking photographs, zooming them in, try to find out traces of the missing climbers and all that. On 18th February, Sajid announced in a press conference that all three climbers are declared dead because it was too late for them to search for the missing climbers. Now, what are the chances of this expedition of actually finding any traces or any evidence of what has happened to the three climbers? Now, we understand the fact that the search has to start from the shoulder of K2. Now, this would go on from C3 all the way up to bottleneck and to the summit. Now, nobody knows, there is no evidence as yet that the three climbers were able to reach the summit of K2 because there were indications, there were pre-decided indications that John Snorri was supposed to call his wife from the summit of K2. There were glitches from the Thuraya satellite phone that they have tried to make a contact for the search and rescue and all that. But we already know that the trackers were dead and the cell phone were dead and there were no batteries, and probably we don't know if they had a camera and they took some snaps at the summit. Although Sajid has already claimed that the three climbers were able to reach the summit, but there is no evidence. So the search logically would start from C3 and all the way up to the summit. From our analysis, we see this as the most potential places to look for the missing climbers, or any traces of them for that matter, would be the portion that is above the bottleneck when they traverse the Serac going all the way to the summit, and probably they might have taken a shelter in a snow cave, or probably if they were coming down, if they were able to come down all the way to the bottom of the bottleneck and they were trying to reach C3, and on the way back when they were trying to jump across the crevice again, probably there are chances that they might have fallen down in the crevice. But this is all speculation and the analysis that we have come up to as to what are the focal points where Sajid and his team should be looking for the bodies. Now, if they had fallen in the crevice, there are chances that the crevice is not there anymore because the glacier is always moving, and probably it would have filled up the crevice, that the big chasm has already filled in and is closed down. But if they have not fallen in the crevice, and if they lost their way somewhere around the bottleneck or on top of the bottleneck, probably there's a good chance that they might be able to find the bodies. So in this case, I think if we are able to find the sat phone, even the tracker, or even the camera, if there's a still camera, if there's a small video clip that they've made on top of the summit, or maybe on their way down, or maybe going towards the summit, that would eventually lead us to the fact that if there has been a summit by this expedition with this team. Also, because we know that John Snorri was not able to make a call to his wife from the top of the summit, so there is still speculation as to did they ever reach the summit or not. So a lot of things can be ascertained if we are able to find any of these gadgets, the tracker from which they can actually send an SMS as well. As far as retrieving the bodies is concerned, bringing them down, and I don't really see the need to haul all the 3 dead bodies down to the bottom, down to the base camp and giving them proper burials. I think that would be something that Ali Bhai would not have preferred himself. Even I think John Snorri and JP Mohr would. But bringing the bodies down all the way to the base camp and giving them a burial as per their fates is something that can be reasoned with. I think there is no need for hauling the bodies down from the mountain. I think they are at peace wherever they are, and I think we should leave them in peace. But it is also very important that we need to find out the evidence which can lead us actually to what happened to the missing climbers. Alias Aikali is also accompanying Sajid to the top of K2 to find out actually what happened to the expedition he was actually filming. And Fazal Ali, another high altitude climber, Pakistani climber who is from Shimshal Valley, he's also part of the expedition. And this has been made possible by the efforts of so many people across the world. It is strange and it is so encouraging at the same time that so many people from so many different places in the world have come together to make it possible for Sajid to actually execute this. In a recent press conference, Sajid just announced the names of all the people who have made it possible, including the Canadian ambassador, Wendy Gilmore, and John Snorri's wife, Lena, and then Vanessa O'Brien, the first American woman to climb K2, and also Colonel Hassan, who's from Pakistan Analytica. In a very short span of time, these people actually made it possible that Sajid can execute this expedition. So they will be on their way to the K2 base camp very soon, and we are hoping that we will be getting updates in regards to what is happening in the expedition and what is their strategy to attack the mountain and actually go to the top. Now Sajid has also made it clear that their intention is not to climb the K2 and go all the way to the summit, but the only reason that they're doing it is to find the evidence as to what happened to the 3 climbers. From here onwards, as this expedition proceeds, we will be giving you live updates and our analysis in this regard so as to what is happening on the expedition and what is their strategy and to go up and what are the places actually they're focusing to find out the bodies of the climbers. We also understand the fact that our previous videos that we have loaded in regards to this unfortunate incident that happened in the winters, there have been a lot of feedback from all across the world, from South America, from Iceland, from all over Pakistan, from so many countries in the world. They've appreciated the analysis that we rendered in the last episode, and we are thankful to them. And so anybody who's interested, who is following this news, there's a lot of emotional and sentimental attachment to whatever is happening, what has happened in the winter. So if you're interested to follow the news in this regard, please go ahead, like and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you would like to ask any questions, please feel free to write in the comments, and we certainly hope to see you very soon. Thank you very much.